Hello and welcome to the Poorly Drawn Arsenal podcast. I'm Jacob. I'm the man behind Poorly Drawn Arsenal, and as you can probably tell if you're watching this on YouTube or I think possibly Spotify, this podcast is animated. Now, the one downside of that, and I haven't told him this yet, but my friend and co-host Hunter is an animated walrus.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were the walrus.
No. See, I've already drawn myself. I haven't drawn you yet. And so for simplicity's sake, I was like, I'll just make him the walrus.
No, that's fine because I thought you were going to be the walrus and I was going to have to figure out what I was. Like, would I be the unicorn? Just ancillary drawings.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. I think if anything, I would draw you as a narwhal, but
okay. Well, I just didn't want to be the crying R's.
No. Could you imagine me talking 30 minutes to a crying arse? That'd be amazing.
I mean, it suits the occasion.
Yeah, it does. So getting into this, the animation on this will be very bare bones for now, as I work away to try to streamline this as quickly as possible and to make it as simple as possible for me. So you won't be wowed by the animation during this, but it is animated, and I can say it's an animated podcast. So why is this podcast back? Well, one, you asked for it, and that's really all I had.
Big threat.
Yeah, and so if you want a podcast that's like highly analytical, tactics focused, look away. This is not the podcast for you.
Leave it playing.
Yes,
but look away.
Please
Don't
look away.
Watch it.
Yes, just leave it on in the background. You can mute it if you want, but just leave it on in the background. If you want a podcast that's like highly informative, I would also look away.
It's stressing. Keep it on. Just
Please,
don't look at it.
Just don't look at it. But if you want a podcast that's worth your time, I would probably also look away.
Yeah, I mean, but again, please do keep it on.
Please. I would just say that this podcast will be unhinged as much as the drawings are, and if you want a good time, I can guarantee that this will be a good time. Cool. So let's get into it. Let's go. Let's talk about Timber. You know what, Hunter? I just realized.
Yeah.
That music is extremely upbeat.
Yeah, really inappropriate
for what we're about to talk about.
Yeah, we started with the worst news, and you kicked it off with the jauntiest music you could find.
I know. Okay, well, I mean, what is done is done.
Yeah, we can't change it.
Can't change it at this time. For future use, I will keep that in mind to not pick the most jolly of musics before we talk about.
You could keep it, just slow it way down.
Yes.
Do up.
Yeah, so Urine Timber, Timber, safer. Yeah, hurt his knee and is out for this season, it looks like. Kind of a real bummer, you know?
Yeah, my big analysis is this stinks.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Let's move on to the next one. Which I can find my notes. I'm a good person. David Raya signs. All right, so Arsenal officially have two probably number ones or equal in talent keepers now. David Raya has arrived from Brentford for kind of a fantastic deal of, I think it's $3 million up front and then 20 something afterward.
Yeah, I think I saw 3 and 27. I don't remember. This is the kind of analysis that you get on the podcast.
Yeah, we don't know.
Research?
We know that numbers exist, but we don't know the numbers.
And we know the ballpark.
Yes.
All right. We're not going to lead you too far off the mark,
but we won't lead you to the mark.
No, exactly. We'll get
No.
you in the vicinity, and then you figure it out.
Yep. So it's around 30 total. I know that there's a loan. Uh, I mean, I think this is an interesting move, especially because Ramsdale looks like he had solidified himself as number one for so long. Uh, but I think it's interesting with the whole competition of places that Arteta loves.
Yeah, it's also nice in that if Aaron Ramsdale's knee exploded, today, we would have an actual goalie.
We would, which would be ideal. Not to like, I do want to say that there was a part of me in today's match, which was the Crystal Palace match I just ended, that I was like, do I Google to see if you actually can play with two keepers? Like, is it in the rule book that you can't do that? Because I would have appreciated that at the end of the match, where like, just throw them on, have one cover the like doubles tennis, but with a giant, they're covering the net, not
Yeah,
shooting over the net.
I think you can send them both out there in the outfit, but only one of them can touch the ball.
Ooh, and you don't tell Crystal Palace which one it is. They just have to guess if they're sending it to the one that has hands or doesn't.
Maybe they can signal to the referee that they're doing a little switch.
Yeah, right. Like, they do a nose to mouth touch, and then the referee is like, ah, yeah, got it. You're the keeper now.
Or it's like in American football where you have to tell the referee that the offensive lineman can catch the football now.
Oh, right, yeah.
Someone whispers it to the referee and then he announces it to the crowd.
Yep. And then they're all like, but like they have to do it very quickly and in play. So if like, somebody's coming from the right side and that's Raya's side, but he's not the keeper, they quickly have to be like, hey, I'm the keeper now. Yeah, I think it's worth looking into. I mean, that's pretty much. Let's look into that.
All right, we'll write a strongly worded letter.
Yes. To who?
A great question.
I feel
Howard
like if we
Webb.
write the FA, we will never hear back.
Okay, we go direct to Howard Webb.
Yes.
Who's the guy that loves being in commercials and he retired? Mike Dean?
Is he in commercials?
He's in at least one commercial. He could be in as many as 5.
Five is a big claim, Hunter.
I'm not saying
Five is a
he's
lot.
in exactly 5. I'm
Five
saying
is
he could be in as many as 5. That's the max I'm setting.
okay, but I'm still like five is a lot. Like five is if they're each 30 seconds, and I've put myself in a hole here.
Okay.
And you have five of them. That's
That's 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
150 times. It's a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Plus, I think another 30 seconds.
I don't think he's the star of the commercials. I think he's just in them.
Like he's in the background, just
Well,
or like a kid goes to pay with Apple Pay and they don't accept it, and he shows the kid a yellow card.
Yeah, it's the commercial where they tell you can't use Apple Pay somewhere.
Right. Okay.
Companies like to make commercials where they tell you where you can't use their services.
Right, yeah. So it's like they're like, please come here, but for God's sake, will you please stop paying with Apple Pay?
And Apple loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. Apple is just shoveling out money to those companies to make that advertisement.
It's called brand awareness.
Yes. It exists. You just can't use it. Okay, I had no idea that Mike Dean was in commercials.
We're in the tangent hole right now. I'm going to pull us back out at Inception style. We wanted to know the layer we are in is Mike Dean is in commercials. The layer above that is who do we write to?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Get two keepers.
We're many layers in.
The layer above that is can two keepers play at the same time?
And then the layer above that,
David Raya side for Arsenal.
Yeah. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4 layers deep now.
Yeah, and this is what this podcast is for.
It is the onion,
but not
of Arsenal podcasts. But not.
And if it was a commercial, we would say we're not the onion.
Right. You would get a
That was the
yellow
service we were
card for
telling you we're
saying that.
not
Yes.
providing.
So if we had to write a strongly worded letter, it would go to Howard Webb.
Yeah, Howard Webb. We can throw it to the FA. We should probably write one to Arteta just to let him know that we're, sending this out on their behalf
Yeah, I would BCC Arteta and the FA.
in our letter.
Yes, yes, and send it directly to Howard Webb, uh, saying, "Hey, buddy, do you mind?
And
would you
I
care?"
don't think we have to draft it. Really, I think that's perfect wording.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It says,
Two
"Dear
keepers,
Howard Webb,
dear Howard,
hey,
two
buddy,
keepers
do
at
you mind?"
once. Hey, buddy, do you mind?
With no context whatsoever, he would immediately understand what we mean by it. Uh, and then, yeah, Arsenal would have the double goalkeeper thing where you're switching, you know, immediately switching who is the goalkeeper. I think it would work in late game situations.
Well, they certainly would have tried it today.
Yes.
We
And
can.
speaking, oh no,
Oh
I
no.
jumped the gun there. We're not quite there yet, but we do have Arsenal's third kit was released. Hunter, if you had to rank the 3 Arsenal kits that were released this off season, how would you rank them?
Uh, in style or in utility?
Ooh, let's do style first, but we'll get to utility.
Okay. Style first. Home kit number 1. Just like it. I think it's a pretty classic looking one. Third kit number 2. I would wear that just like around.
Yeah.
Away kit number 3.
Okay. I would go third kit number 1, home kit number 2. I don't like how the white sleeves go up to the neck. I would like if they stayed sleeves. Um, and then the away kit would be my number 3, but I am willing to admit that it's growing on me.
So for utility,
Yes,
the away kit is number 1.
absolutely.
I'm colorblind. And
I'm
so
not.
okay, for either way, it's neon yellow.
Yeah, you can't miss
Like
that.
really easy to see.
Yeah. And I realized during the match, it is fantastic for night games because you'll absolutely see all your teammates.
Oh, for sure.
And it was kind of foggy out, so even all the better for that. Uh, and then for utility, I think I would put home kit number 2,
Yeah.
only because I have concerns, and that's a weird thing to say about a kit. Uh, I have concerns that the I'm losing myself there. Third kit is too green. Like it's too much the color of a pitch, if you will.
I didn't know what color it was.
Like dark green, blue.
Look, this is just a colorblind guy thing. It
Yeah.
looks nice. Couldn't name the color.
How colorblind are you?
Less than a dog, but more than you.
Okay. Okay.
I do see colors.
Right. Yes.
I'm red green colorblind. I can't really distinguish close differences.
And I would say that the 2 colors on that kit are pretty close in color
But if you
range.
put me in a contest with a dog, I'll beat it.
Well,
One, I can
in the
talk.
game, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
no, yes, I'm not. Okay.
No, you have a dog.
I don't have a dog.
You don't have a dog?
No. I live in
Since
an
when?
apartment.
Oh, right.
I've never had a dog.
You've
Well,
never had a dog?
okay. As an adult, I've never had a dog.
Oh,
We had
okay.
a family dog.
Right, yes.
Just trying to gaslight.
I swore you had a dog.
My wife had a dog.
Oh. Anyway.
I'm a married walrus.
All right. For the last section here, Arsenal just played Crystal Palace. They won 1-0. There was a red card at some point during it. I don't remember what minute it was. Again, the analysis on this is going to be amazing. Hunter, what are your immediate thoughts? It is kind of immediate. The match ended maybe an hour ago. So I guess not necessarily immediate. What are your hour away thoughts from the match?
Um, I I don't want to do that one again.
Yeah, no.
I'm like
No.
I'm glad to have the 3 points. Those are lovely.
Yes. Keep them, put on a bow.
That I prefer that result to any of the other ones. I want the
Yes.
three every time.
Yes. In that way, though,
No, it was really unpleasant to watch.
extremely unpleasant.
It felt like uh, they were just attacking for an hour. And I know it wasn't really an hour. It was probably like 20 minutes of like extreme pressure, followed
But
by
it
a
seemed
period
like
of
there was
keeping
a
the ball.
block of time there where we didn't cross the halfway line
No, we were
for a very long time.
just kicking it away, never
Again, if you were
holding
a
it.
different podcast, we would have these numbers for you, but we're not. So
Right.
this
Yeah,
is all feel. It felt like we didn't cross
and we
the
would be
halfway line.
so much smarter about this too if we were another podcast.
Oh my god!
Like,
And if we were a different podcast, I would like write things down about the match that I liked and stuff like that.
and I would like know more about the sport, and I
I
would use good terminology.
I probably would have showered
Yeah, we would be so much cleaner if
so
we were
much
a different
cleaner,
podcast.
but that's what animation's for. Um, yeah, it wasn't a match that I necessarily enjoyed. I don't think I would go as far to say that, but I did enjoy the end result of it. Um, I guess if I had to pick out some moments that I liked, uh, Declan Rice in general was fantastic, but him losing the contact lens was very funny.
It was certainly memorable.
Extremely memorable.
It's a real nightmare scenario for me, imagining, 20,000 people looking at you while you're trying to put a contact lens back in,
Oh,
and
Hunter,
everyone
it's
has to
way
like,
more than 20,000 people. You're forgetting everybody on the broadcast.
oh, sure. I just mean the feeling of them being
Oh, right,
present.
right,
And then there's that delayed realization of, oh, yeah, also millions of people are watching at home.
right.
And
And not
everyone
only
had to
that,
stop what we're doing.
you're not able to do it, and you need the vet tech is the wrong word because he's not an animal.
No,
Uh,
no, those are doctors. The ones for people are doctors.
right. Okay. Okay.
At the very least, physios.
Right. Yes. Okay. So
They're not veterinary assistants.
I've just been at the vet so much in my life that like it's the immediate first thing I think of.
Do you
Okay,
go
so
to
not
the
the vet
vet
tech, but
to
the
get a checkup?
physio was poking. I don't know if he necessarily poked his eye, but he's clearly trying to be the one to put the contact in his eye, which made it even. I imagine that would make things more uncomfortable.
Yeah, I wouldn't want someone to put the contact in my eye. I guess it
No.
helps that they're wearing the gloves, but also that would probably feel weird. I do wonder if they have like backup contacts.
Uh, I don't know. It's not something I would necessarily think about, but I imagine there's more players that wear contacts than we think.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
I would have
physios have
absolutely
those big
loved.
bags.
Yeah, I mean those bags store everything in there.
Yeah,
Probably,
what's
I would
in
have
there?
absolutely loved if they were like Declan. Look, we can't get this in there. There's no way. And Sam, God love him, forgot the contacts. But listen, we got a pair of goggles. You got to put them on.
Declan, we've got three options for you. We've got the goggles, we've got an eye patch, and we've got a monocle.
Or you could just be blind. Which one is it going to be? Out of all that, I would go goggles, without a doubt.
It's the safest option for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's the least stylish, but
I
the
feel like it would make me
most
more
utility.
aggressive.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I would because people wouldn't be able to poke me in the eye.
Yeah,
Not that
you're
that
just
happens,
generally
but
worried about that, right?
I am. Yeah.
Just in general, that people are going to come up and poke you in the eye.
Surprisingly, yes. Yeah, that is a fear of mine, mainly because it's something that happened in my childhood. Uh, but yeah, it is actually genuinely a fear of mine.
I'm going to guess that you got poked in the eye as a child.
Surprisingly, no. I got something in my eye, and then I had to go to the hospital to get it out because it just wasn't coming out naturally. And it took 5 doctors to like hold me down as they got this thing. The thing I hate about eye stuff is that you have to like look at the person while they're
Yeah,
investigating your
yeah.
eye.
The
You have
hand's
no
coming
option but
towards
to
you.
look.
It's
And I
getting
hate
bigger.
what's that?
I keep talking over you.
No, that's me.
It's, you know, not only is something coming towards your eye, and you can't close the eye because it needs to be investigated, but it's that disorienting sense that something is getting bigger as it approaches.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's pretty much what Declan Rice went through.
Yeah, imagine if 5 physios had to come out and pin him down and
Right,
stick his
right.
contact in.
That's why they're called vet techs. But I thought that moment in the match was, at the very least, interesting. Um, I, I,
He
I
was
guess there were a
great.
few Eddie Nketiah chances that maybe he should have done better with, but I thought he played well overall.
Yeah, I think it was a little unfortunate that he had to go off because of the red card, but also he did do a nice job kind of providing a release sometimes, and got into some good positions and just couldn't quite hit the finish.
Yeah, and you know what? Everybody has those days. But the Tomiyasu red card, uh, I don't like these new rules. I I feel like they are not um, equal in the sense that there were plenty of people doing more than 8 seconds of holding the ball, waiting to throw in the ball.
Yeah, I think he got kind of unfairly punished today for like
Yeah,
the team was kind of being pokey, wasting time way too early. By the way, they probably should have just kept playing. It's like
yeah,
it's a 1 goal lead, and we're Arsenal. You can probably score some more goals, fellas.
yeah. I feel like we probably have this like weird. There have been times where we haven't necessarily gotten the results there, and there's probably some worries about that. So I think the move to go defensive much earlier is probably just for the sake of that not to happen,
Sure. I
which
just mean,
ultimately led to that happening much, or led to us having to endure more pressure than you would think.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm just happy we got the 3 points, and that I have no idea who we're facing next. I don't know. I have no.
Okay, and another podcast would know this right away,
Another podcast would know this right away.
and it is Fulham.
Arsenal.com. Go to their
And it
website.
is Fulham, and I did find it before you did.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's the next one. And is that at home?
And it is at home.
Excellent. Much easier match. Hopefully.
Sure. I mean, noted American Tim Ream is going to miss the game because he.
Is he
Uh,
injured?
no, I think he had a similar kind of red card experience where he got.
Oh.
You know what? I didn't see it, so maybe it was a deserved red. Maybe he, karate kicked
I,
somebody.
I only watched Arsenal this weekend,
Me
and that
too.
was on Monday, so I didn't watch anything.
I did. I watched maybe like 10 minutes of Liverpool, and that was
Well,
about it.
another podcast would be more informed and
Not
more
this one.
analytical,
Yeah, but
but
those ones aren't animated.
they are not. And we learned about vet techs that they are not the people that take care of people on the pitch. We also learned about why did I try to circle this all back?
We learned
Um,
about Mike Dean maybe being in a commercial.
right, up to five. Um, we also
Came up with a
uh,
great two goalie rule.
two goalie rule, and we also learned that sometimes upbeat music isn't great for every situation.
So there's plenty of lessons.
Plenty of lessons. Um, cool, Hunter. Do you have anything else to say to the people?
No, I mean we just summed up the show so well.
We did. We did. Cool. So, thank you very much for listening. This has been the Poorly Drawn Arsenal animated podcast, the least essential Arsenal podcast. Um, if you enjoy the show, please subscribe. Give it a like, or if you're listening on a podcast app, rate it. And if you don't like it, please tell your enemies about this show. Um, just again, tell somebody, tell them to put it up on the background. Just make us feel good. All right, and goodbye.